Give me a little intro there, Gomer.
There's no turning back now.
Let's put on the show.
You're listening to episode 101 of the Station 71 podcast. My name is Mario, and this week I'm joined by my co-hosts.
Brian?
Kirsten.
So this week we are going to be talking about some Walt Disney World scents, and we're going to do a little top 5, top 10, whatever top we decide to do. And yeah, as always, let's dive into the news first. Looks like first up, we've got that the Enchanted Rose Lounge has opened at Disney's Grand Floridian Resort. That was a tongue twister. From the looks of it, I'm intrigued. If you don't remember, the Enchanted Rose is the inspired by Beauty and the Beast lounge that they opened in place of Misner's Lounge at the Grand Floridian. We've got some photos. We've got some menu items on here. Lots of stuff. Where do you guys want to begin with this one?
Well, let's see. I
just want to say twins. Go ahead.
I think the decor is very loosely inspired by Beauty and the Beast. I mean, it looks very, very nice for sure, but it definitely doesn't scream Beauty and the Beast to me.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was going to say, is that it fits in a lot better than I expected it to.
I really like that because I don't want the IP to be everywhere, but the fact that it's more inspired by something than like you're in another version of the Beast Castle.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Disney bounding versus cosplay.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like how in this picture, people in it, though, they're all dressed like they just came from the parks. They all have on tennis shoes and T-shirts. Funny.
I also just realized this doesn't have the menu, so I'm going to send you guys a article with the menu in it because there's some stuff in there that maybe we want to discuss.
I really like the chairs at the tables.
With the little roses on them.
They look like they came from my grandma's kitchen in the 60s.
They do.
Like they look
That's
like
funny.
they should be plastic. That weird like vinyl plasticky stuff.
Yeah, they don't look comfortable. I do have to say I really like the chandelier behind the bar. The only thing like that I'm not super sold on yet is this bar looks tiny. Which supposedly the one that was there before it was really tiny too, this looks like really small.
This looks actually bigger than before.
Really?
If I recall correctly, yeah. It looks like it at least has more seating.
It just looks like the bartenders don't have a lot of room back there. So I also sent you the menu if you guys want to take a look at that and see if there's anything on there that you want to talk about.
There's a lot of stuff here.
Yes.
Very big menu.
Veuve Clicquot, why is it $89 for a bottle and $130 for a glass? That's my question.
Wait.
That can't be right.
That has to be backwards, right?
Right. Because I'm definitely getting the bottle over the glass if so.
That's crazy. Oh my gosh.
Not that I'm going to spend
Maybe it's a really, really
$100
fancy glass.
Yeah.
It comes in a souvenir cup.
Yeah. That'd be kind of cool, but still not worth the money.
I love that the beer, it's like Bud Light Lager, St. Louis, Missouri. Like really it's just like
You want to feel a little bit fancy when drinking Bud Light.
I was having this conversation with someone else recently that like there are some places that it feels like they serve things just to like appease the people that are coming there without realizing it. Like who goes to Trader Sam's and orders a Bud Light? because that's also on their menu.
It's like having the chicken nuggets at every restaurant.
Exactly.
Yeah. Which, I mean, I could kind of understand it. Like, you know, you have to have something kind of tame on the menu at, like, Skipper Canteen. Because a lot of those menu options are super adventurous. But, like, this is a bar. You can't find anything else to drink but Bud Light?
Yeah. I don't know. It's probably that person that, like, got drugged there by their family and is like, I don't want to go to the bar today, but this is the only thing I'll drink.
Sounds like a fun person.
It's out there somewhere. So next thing on our news topics is that the Epcot Preview Center at the Odyssey has opened up. Pretty much it's the Epcot exhibit that we saw at D23 with a large scale, like, white Epcot model. They've been projection mapping different things onto it. And there's a giant feeder around the outside that plays some of the announcement stuff. So you get to see, like, little sneak peeks of the attractions coming. I think this was really cool, and I hope that they continue to use this in here, because this would be a really neat way to get people excited for some of the new things that are coming to the parks. Plus, who really went in the Odyssey before this anyway?
Oh, yeah. I mean,
Unless
outside
there
of
was a
food and
food
wine.
kiosk.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm definitely going to check this out. I'm excited that, like you said, they're using it for something else.
Yeah.
I was watching a video before we started recording this of, like, the whole experience, and it's really cool because what they do is they talk about the attractions that are coming, and then, like, on the actual, like, model that's there, they'll highlight the part that they're talking about, which obviously it's not a full scale model of Epcot. Like, things are in weird places, but, like, there's a part where they talk about Cosmic Rewind and they highlight that one part on the map, and then everything else changes to be, like, I guess kind of Guardians of the Galaxy themed. So it's cool how they draw your attention to that one place. But there's one thing that I want to talk about on here that I'm still confused about, and I know we didn't get this announcement, but I want to talk about this anyway. The Mexico Pavilion is on here, and there's still, like, a ton of Coco stuff around the Mexico Pavilion. I feel like they really wanted to announce something there, but just didn't.
Maybe they're
fine
holding
with
off on
that.
that. I mean, I honestly, y'all probably hate me, but I didn't like Coco that much. So,
Blasphemy.
I don't know. I
love
mean, Will
Coco.
loved it. I just was like, it's fine, I guess. I didn't hate it, but
I think you're
I
alone
mean,
in that opinion.
I know.
I liked it enough, but I can kind of see how you might not like it.
No, Mario, don't sympathize with her.
Excuse me. I didn't I didn't dislike it. It's just like if somebody was like, "Hey, do you want to watch Coco?" I'd be like, "Yeah, I guess." You know.
I have a big fascination with Dia de los Muertos anyway, so
So
think
you're biased.
maybe I'm a little biased.
I really, okay, I grew up in Texas, and on road trips, my dad always would turn on Tejano stations on the radio and turn it up super loud. And I just really, really hate Tejano music. Like, I just can't. Like, so maybe that's part of it. I don't know. It is not a genre that I like at all, except for Selena. But so maybe that's part of it. It's just the music was not, like, amazing to me.
Gotcha.
I can understand that. The music was a really big part of that movie. So if you didn't like the music, you're pretty much already not going to like the movie.
Yeah.
I sent you guys an article that has more pictures of the actual, like, photos of the projection mapping and the Epcot experience stuff in there too, if you want to take a look at it.
Yeah, this is really cool.
I love when they use projection mapping in a unique way, and it's not, like, just gimmicky.
Although I feel like one of them is like a big advertisement for Disney Emoji Blitz.
The one that I said.
I'll let that one slide.
Though they used that in the Play Pavilion, so I kind of get it. Like that's when they're talking about the Play Pavilion, that's what like comes up, which is really weird. It does seem like an advertisement for Emoji Blitz, but at least they put it somewhere and they weren't like, oh, in Mission Space, here's Emoji Blitz.
Also, when did they repaint the outside of the Odyssey Pavilion?
I want to say that was pretty recent.
I was about to say, I do not remember it looking like this.
But again, when was the last time you were at the Odyssey?
Oh, I mean, I was at least in World Showcase within the last couple months, but...
That's true.
Going off of this, did y'all see, I don't know who posted it, but they have like all this new retro Epcot merch.
Yes.
I want all of it. I love like retro Epcot merchandise is like my Pandora's box. I just can't help myself. So
I know pretty much everyone here said that they weren't going to watch the live stream of Epcot Forever, but did anyone cave and watch it like I did?
Did not.
No, because I'm going next week and I wanted to see it in person.
I have some feelings that I want to talk about, and I don't know if you guys want me to talk about them.
If it's not super spoilery, I don't mind.
Okay, so I will keep this as spoiler-free as possible. So I watched the live stream when they debuted it, and I thought it was a really cool interim show. Remembering that it's not replacing Illuminations seems to be like the best way to look at this show, because a lot of people are like, Illuminations had a story and there was all these cool things that it did. And then it's like, okay, yeah, but Disney's not going to shell out all this money to like put an interim show in here that's going to be Illuminations caliber. It was really neat. It played a lot into like nostalgia for old Epcot. So if you like a lot of the older music from the Epcot attractions, I can guarantee that pretty much everything that you're looking for is here. The kites were super cool. They weren't gimmicky. I mean, all right, let me take that back. They were maybe a little bit gimmicky, but not in a way that I minded. I'm trying to think of ways to not be spoilery about this. They used a lot of the technology that you kind of would have expected, the stuff that still worked from Illuminations. So if there's something you were worried about going away, it probably didn't. Yeah, overall, I really enjoyed it. I liked it. There seems to be like a very mixed reaction to it online, but like I said, just remember this is an interim show. We're only having this for the next year, and then when Harmonious comes out, that's going to be the next big thing. And I think with the technology that they introduce in Epcot Forever and the way that this show is pulled off, I have a lot of faith for that show.
Good.
Yeah, I'm excited to see it.
I really wish that I was seeing it in person. Yeah. So next thing on our list of news topics is that Disney has launched a whole bunch of plant-based food options. I don't know if we've talked about this before. I couldn't remember, so I threw it in here anyway. But now on their website, you can actually see the plant-based options, and they have a way of indicating them very similarly to how they indicate the dining plan options. There's a icon with like a little leaf on it. So you know what you're getting is plant-based.
Yay!
I figured Beth would want to talk about this a little bit.
I'm really excited about this because there have always been restaurants that I really kind of felt like I couldn't go to. And this makes me feel like they said they're adding plant-based to every restaurant, correct?
Yeah, for the most part. And if you actually go, here, I'll link the Disney World website to you guys too, because I linked an article. But if you actually go on the website, you can click on the places. Like it has a thing for Magic Kingdom, Epcot, Hollywood Studios, and Animal Kingdom, and you can see their like where they are and what options they have.
Yeah, this is so exciting because I just like, you know, plant-based has come such a long way since I became a vegetarian 16 years ago-ish. And it used to be, oh, well, you come out to eat with us and you're a vegetarian. Well, I'm sure they have a salad on the menu. And I'm like, I'm sorry. I know there are people out there that love their salads, and I don't mind a good salad, but most salads are not a meal to me. They're like an appetizer. I want some like real food.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's so nice for it to finally be evolving into having like actual entrees.
restaurants do you feel like you've never been able to go to?
Well, mostly like Cinderella's Royal Table, for example. It's like I don't want to spend $60 a plate or $60 a person and have to eat like salad, which is what it kind of has seemed like in the past when I had looked into going. And just like it's been mostly table service where they have like one small option that was like an afterthought as their vegetarian option, and then they have like all these awesome entrees like leg of lamb and ribeye steak and whatever for people that eat meat. And I'm like, well, good for them, I guess, because I'm not going to eat there. But now it's looking like they're adding it like genuine entrees, like things that are actually going to be fulfilling to every restaurant. Yeah. So that's really exciting.
Looking at this and just like hearing what you were talking about, it looks like a lot of these are actually adding a good number of options too. Like Cinderella's Royal Table has 5 new options in there. I don't know if all of these are new, granted, because it just lists their plant-based options, and Dole Whip is on here, and that's definitely not new. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff on here, so that's really exciting for anybody that's not a meat eater.
Yeah, definitely. I'm going to try to eat as many of the new things as possible on my upcoming trip. So hopefully
yeah, you'll have to let us know
reviews when I come back.
Absolutely. So before we dive into this week's topic, I want to touch on our 100 episode giveaway that I kind of threw in at the very end of last week's episode. For anybody that didn't get to listen to it all the way or didn't listen to last week's episode, because we hit 100 episodes, I wanted to do a little giveaway. So I'm giving away 3 Haunted Mansion Pop Vinyl Hitchhiking Ghost figures to one person that enters. How you enter is you share your favorite Station 71 episode on social media. Make sure you tag us in the post. The only one that we don't actually get notifications for when we're tagged in it is Facebook. So if you share it on Facebook, screenshot it and send it to us. And you can also get another shot at entering by leaving us a review on iTunes and sending us the review as well. So all of that, send them to our email at station71podcast@gmail.com. I'm going to run this till the end of October, and then when November hits, we'll announce the winner on the first episode of November. So exciting stuff.
Yeah.
And all that said, let's dive into this week's topic. So we decided we wanted to do a fun episode and talk about some of the smells of Walt Disney World. And are we doing top 5? Top 5 sound fair?
Yeah, I think
if
so.
If y'all want to do 10, y'all can, but I can put that many. Maybe I just
I was about to say I could maybe come up with them real quick, but I think 5 is safe. And
so we'll do 5 and
honorable
then
mentions, we can throw those in at the end.
Okay, that works for me. I'll throw my bottom 5 and then my honorable mentions together, and if anybody steals mine, I'll just use those. So we decided to do a top 5 of the top Walt Disney World smells because there's a lot of interesting and unique smells to smell in Walt Disney World. So I guess we'll go in host order. So me, Beth, Brian, and then Kirsten.
Sure.
Sounds good.
And start with number 5 and go up to number 1 like we usually do.
Sounds good.
So my number 5 for this list, I'm going to be a little specific and say the Be Our Guest scene in PhilharMagic with the apple pie. I love that smell, and I know that it's kind of like a very preloaded smell, and there's a Glade air freshener that smells exactly like it, but that
There
smell
is?
brings me... Yes, there is. I can find it for you, and I'll send it to you if you really want.
Yeah.
But yeah, this one brings me right into the attraction. This is one of my favorites from that attraction, and I think it's a perfect fit.
It is very, very good.
It was on my honorable mentions.
So then your number 5, Beth.
My number 5. This is hard. I feel like I kept going back and forth, but I think ultimately I'm going to throw my number 5 as the boat rides, specifically Pirates.
Ooh, that was also
water
my number
smell.
5.
Oh, word.
That was my number
Yeah.
3, but I'll swap that out. Have you guys watched the video, the Rob Plays video about why Disney water rides smell different?
No.
Haven't seen the video, but I've read about it before.
He did like a whole 5-minute video about why Disney uses bromine instead of chlorine in their attractions, and apparently it is a little bit less harsh of a chemical than chlorine is. So like if someone who's a little bit more sensitive to like chemicals gets it on their skin, it's not gonna like burn them or anything. And it also does a better job at actually like cleaning and breaking down the chemicals in the water, so they don't have to cycle the water as much. And that's what gives it that smell. It's a very weird thing to think about.
But it's, you know, it's good because I feel like even if it didn't do all those things, like if it just smelled like chlorine, people would just associate it with like a swimming pool, and just the fact that it smells different gives it its like own unique thing.
Yeah.
All right, my number 5 is the water. So
Okay, my number 5 is the Grand Floridian lobby because it smells like flowers and money.
Flowers and money. That's awesome.
But really, yes, all the lobbies smell so good. Like the boardwalk, the Poly has a really unique smell, but Grand Floridian is my favorite.
I need to go in and smell it more, I guess. I always feel so out of place at the Grand Floridian that I don't usually make a stop there.
Always
Me
say that.
too.
It always makes me sad.
I
feel the
I'm
same
not rich
way.
enough to be there.
Everybody is, you don't have to be rich to be there. They just want you to think that. It's Disney. You're supposed to be like doing like, I don't know, you're whatever you want to be.
Unbelievable.
The one time we went in there was a wedding going on, and I felt so out of place. Everyone was all dressed up and like in suits and ties and dresses, and we walked in like shorts, t-shirts, and like sneakers.
But most of the time, a lot of people are dressed like normal clothes too.
Yeah, but I feel like there's just something about looking nice in a really nice place that just feels better.
Yeah,
You know?
I mean, I like to be dressed up there. It's more fun, but
Yeah.
So Kirsten is part of the problem.
I mean, I'll go there in my shorts and t-shirt too.
I'll probably go on this trip anyway just to check out the new bar. So maybe I'll pack a nice little outfit that I feel fancy in.
So my number 4 is kind of like, I don't know if this counts as a specific scent, but the smell of Living with the Land, especially when you go into the greenhouse area and you can smell all the like the fresh herbs and vegetables and all that. I think that that's such a great smell. I love that part of the attraction too. So it all just feels great to go in there.
that's a very, very good one.
Natural essences floating around.
You know, like
All
one of
right.
my honorable mentions was going to be the just like Epcot at Flower and Garden, because I like a lot of these, and that they're these, you know, kind of like specifically almost manufactured scents. But when you get something that's like you're actually smelling something natural and it smells that good, it's even better.
Yeah, I think because I put Flower and Garden at Epcot on my honorable mentions too. One of the reasons I really like these is, like you said, it doesn't feel like it's coming out of a can. Like, you know, it's because of something.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's cool to have like more, I don't know, overarching scents as well as the specific ones. All right, so my number 4 is the mossy smell at Flight of Passage. Like when you're in the cave and it's got that like mossy, I don't know how to describe it.
I'm trying to decide if that counts for my number 2 because I put Flight of Passage as a whole. But
Good.
I agree with
Flight
that.
of Passage smelling like anything.
Oh, it has a very distinct smell.
Apparently that scent is supposed to be mushrooms, but I never thought it smelled
I
like
don't
that.
like mushrooms, So I'm going to go with moss.
So I don't know like what part of Flight of Passage it is, but there's a candle that Target has. It's one of their soy candles, and it's called Coastal Linen. It smells exactly like how I remember Flight of Passage smelling. So someone will have to test that theory out for me because I
know all these scent hacks. Like, what is it?
Well, this one I stumbled upon by accident because we were in Target and we were looking for a candle, and I picked this one up and I was like, this smells like Flight of Passage. And Andy kind of agreed with me, so I think maybe I was right, or we just both remember this totally wrong.
I guess she was just being nice to you.
Maybe.
But Target's candle game is on point, no lie.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
My number 4 is the glazed almonds that you can find, or pecans, whatever they are. I think they have both at different places. But like the glazed nuts that you can get at the little kiosk stands around the parks.
Yes.
That's a good one.
It's a very good one. I like to get those for Phantasmic.
Nice.
It's like my associated smell.
My number 4. Old Thorin, the pine tree smell.
Oh, that's a good one too.
I feel like everyone associates Soren with the orange smell, but the pine tree one was real good.
Mm-hmm. I liked it because the pine tree smell kind of just like put you in the scene. It was like an extra thing. The orange smell always seemed like so forced to me. Like I don't feel like if I was in an orange grove, it would smell that strongly like oranges. But when you're in like around a bunch of pine trees, it really does smell like that.
So do you guys want to hate me for a second? Because on my honorable mentions, I put the Taj Mahal Roses and Ocean Breeze scene in the new Soarin'. As much as I hate Soarin' Around the World for like the video aspect of it, I think this one maybe does sense a little bit better because it doesn't feel like they linger as long.
Oh,
like,
I definitely agree with that.
Well, like you were saying, you know, the Orange Grove one is a little forced, but this one, it feels like they spray them, they let it like come out to where it needs to, and then it's not like you smell oranges, and then when you're in Disneyland, you also still smell oranges.
Yeah. And like one of my honorable mentions was actually the grass with the elephant scene. And for that same reason is it's, you know, like on Old Soarin', it was like you knew as soon as they sprayed that thing and it like hit you in the face. And now you kind of just like, it's almost like stumble into the scene and the scent just kind of slowly wafts up to you instead of it being like bam.
Yeah. So then my number 3, I had the resort soap and shampoo smell, the Sea Marine H2O soaps. This is just really odd and personal, but I love the smell of those shampoos, and that's another thing that like always reminds me of Disney. So when we were talking about smells, I was like, I can't not put this on there. I feel like I always end up coming home with a whole bunch of them and just like using them for the next couple months after a Disney trip.
I
It's
feel
a
like
shame they're stopping that.
Oh my gosh, I know, right? I agree. Like that is a smell that I definitely associate with the resorts, but I feel like maybe I just got used to it or something. It just smells slightly different than it did before to me.
It might. I mean, I don't know. I still feel like that smell is one that I absolutely associate with staying on property, like you said.
Now, don't they have different scents at different resorts?
Yeah, so the different tiers of resorts have different ones. There's a sea salt one. There's the Sea Marine one, which is supposed to be like, I don't really know what it's supposed to smell like, but that, and then there's an orange one. I can't remember which one is which tier. I'm pretty sure Sea Marine is moderate because I always end up with that one.
Okay, maybe that's why, because last time I stayed at All Stars and it smelled like similar but different. So I think I was associating the Port Orleans and the All Stars, and they're not the same.
Maybe.
So it's definitely the orange is the deluxe because I've never stayed there.
Oh, yeah, that would make sense because I think the only time that we came home with them was when we stayed at Bay Lake the one time.
I'm telling you, it's that money smell.
All right, my turn.
Yes, you're number 3.
All right. Gonna go back to Pandora with my number 3 and say that weird jalapeno smell when you get off a Flight of Passage. I don't know why. It's not a particularly amazing smell, but I really like it. And I always think it smells like jalapenos for some reason. It smells like the wilderness, the forests of Pandora.
Another
Pandora
smell
smells
I
like-
do not remember at all.
I don't remember that either, so.
Oh man, every time I smell jalapenos, I'm like, ooh, it smells like Pandora. I don't know why they chose that smell, but I like it.
All right, my number 3 is the Polynesian lobby.
I knew it.
I don't even know how to describe what this smells like, but I know that if somebody kidnapped me and put a blindfold on me and brought me to the Polynesian lobby, I would know exactly where I am. And it's so weird that I can't describe the smell, but I know exactly what it smells like.
Are you saying that in the hopes that somebody would actually do that?
I mean, yeah, I'd be pretty okay with that.
My number 3 was the orange Soren smell, which we've already talked about. I don't care if it smells artificial. It smells artificially amazing.
That was on my honorable mentions.
So
Such a good
my
smell.
number 2, and I'm surprised that no one's picked this one yet, is the Haunted Mansion. I know that old and musty is not a smell that anyone wants to smell, but like when you get into this attraction, specifically the stretching room is where I always feel like it hits me. Like you can instantly smell what you would think the Haunted Mansion would smell like, and it's a perfect fit for that.
I am so glad you said this because it was on my honorable mentions, and I didn't really know if I was like imagining that it really had a smell, or if it's supposed to have a smell, or if it just actually smells old and musty because it's an old attraction. But yes, I love that smell.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
I saw like
I don't even know. I've never paid attention to how it smelled.
you know, now that we're going through this, Kirsten's gonna go to Disney and be like, wow, I smell all of these things, or you guys are crazy and I don't smell anything.
I'm gonna walk around hyperventilating because I'm breathing in so much.
My number 2 is Rome burning from Spaceship Earth, which I know is very cliche, but oh well. I love that smell of like a campfire.
I had that on my list and then I took it off because I knew someone else was going to take it. So that was an honorable mention for me.
Yeah,
same
again,
here.
with the Target candle game being on point, I have a candle from Target that smells exactly like this, and it's great.
You're going to have to send me what that one is because now I'm interested.
Okay, I'll have to find it.
So is it like an actual candle, or is it just like one big wick that you just burn?
No, it's an actual candle. It's got like it's supposed to smell like a beach campfire or something. Or bonfire,
You know,
I don't know.
Like you said, Target's candle game is on point, but their names are not.
Right.
I mean, they did just open the Disney stores in Target, so maybe they'll start selling Disney scented candles too.
Good business to be in.
Yeah, I mean, there's a million of them on Etsy, so.
Wow, all of this stuff is happening in October. Like, they like to do that, I guess, with the anniversary being in October, like October 1st. I feel like they always have a bunch of new stuff happening.
Yeah. So which your number 3, Brian?
3 or 2? We're on 2, right? Okay.
We're on 2, yeah. I don't know why I said 3.
I'm surprised somebody hasn't said this, but maybe it's higher on your list. But my number 2 is the Main Street Confectionery.
Number 1.
That was
Thought
an
it would be
honorable
up there.
mention.
That's my
I
favorite
mean-
smell of all time in general, not just at Disney.
You can't not be happy when you smell baked goods, and the fact that it's tied to being in Disney is just doubly awesome.
Yeah. I literally will just like walk through and just like inhale really heavily and then just walk out. That's my trip to the confectionery. Sometimes I'll get actual things.
My number 2 was, I think Mario already said it, the Be Our Guest scene in Fill Our Magic.
I took that pretty early. Sorry about that.
Oh, it's fine.
So
which smell is your favorite? Because actually one of my honorable mentions was the champagne smell.
Oh, that's a good one.
That is a good one.
Yeah, the champagne one. I'm not
Which is
sure
weird
like,
because
it's supposed to smell like, because to me it doesn't smell like champagne actually smells if you stick your nose in a bottle of champagne, but it smells good.
But
well,
it
makes
works.
sense because I don't like champagne or like any wines in general, but I love the way that this smells.
I don't like champagne either.
I love champagne, but you're right, it doesn't smell quite like it. I think it smells like what we wish champagne smelled like.
When you eat like a flavored, like a Jolly Rancher that's supposed to taste like watermelon, but it doesn't actually taste like watermelon. It just tastes like candy in that flavor.
Oh,
yeah.
They've never been able to make any candy that actually tastes like watermelon.
I mean, it'd be kind of weird if they did. I don't know. Watermelon is a very distinct taste.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to pull a Mario here too, and let y'all know that if you like the way that the Fill Our Magic champagne smells, Bath & Body Works has a scent that smells just like this, and it's the Black Cherry Merlot. So,
Oh, really?
I did not know that.
Yeah, and I think they have it in candles, and I know they have like hand sanitizer and that kind of stuff because my wife gets it. So,
Ooh.
Kirsten's finding all of these new scents. So my number 1 was the Poly Lobby. I cycled some things around and this one was on and off my list. So I guess I'll give it the number 1 spot for now, just because nobody took it. But to a lesser degree of the Rome burning smell, Cali River Rapids has a very strong campfire smell during that burning log scene. And that's another one that like has a very distinct smell to it. It puts me kind of in the attraction a little bit, but to a lesser degree than some of these other ones.
I don't know if I ever recognized Cali River Rapids having that scent, but I'll have to go back and check it out.
It very much smells like a campfire, and that's pretty much all it smells like. And it's not as strong, I guess, because it's outside, but it definitely has a scent.
Yeah, I've never
maybe
noticed
it's like
it either.
Maybe it's like part of the ride breaking, and I'm just delusional. So did anybody else have a number 1 that didn't get taken?
Oh, I did. Did everybody else?
I know what Kirsten's number 1 is.
I think I know what yours is too.
Is it Layla, the best smelling perfume ever in the whole universe? From
Yep.
There it is.
Yeah. Like I can't even describe it. Like it's just so good. Norway just smells so good. Now that you can buy it now in a lot of different stuff on Amazon. Like they have a powder, like a dusting one, and they have what was it? I think like hand lotion
powder.
Yeah, like so it's like
it's a girl thing.
A little sparkly. It's like this, kind of like shimmery powder that you can dust on yourself, but it also smells like Layla. I'll get you some for Christmas.
Okay.
Brian needs to sparkle.
That sounds like that very much sounds like a girl thing that I'm not getting here. So don't feel alone, bro.
I was like, Mario's just sitting there not saying anything, and I look like the only one that has no idea what's going on.
Mario's sitting at home, like watching his arms sparkle.
I just looked it up. I looked it up on Amazon just because I do every now and then. Now they have a lip gloss, they have body wash, they have deodorant. Like, oh my God, there's even
Maybe I could commit to that because I don't want to spend $50 on a bottle of perfume or whatever.
Facial cleanser. I need all of these things. Like, I'll just be Laylaing it up. Like, my whole life is going to smell like Layla.
People will just walk by and be like, oh, I feel like I'm at the Norway Pavilion at Epcot.
Literally, when I was doing my master's and I was working part-time, a woman came into the dressing room at Victoria's Secret and I was like, "Are you wearing Layla perfume?" And she was like, "Yes." And I was like, "Okay."
So wait. You don't smell things when you're at Disney World, but you smell random people when you're out shopping.
I was like helping her. I worked at Victoria's Secret and I was like helping her. And I would smell Layla anywhere. Like, it's a talent.
That is super
So,
funny. Did she act like you were weird for noticing?
Yeah, she did. I thought we could like
Wow,
bond over our shared love of Layla, but it did not happen that way.
Maybe she like didn't get it from Disney. She just got it from some random department store because she liked the way it smelled. So she's like not emotionally attached to it.
So I'm gonna go with that version. Makes me feel better.
As we were talking about this, I was remembering that a while ago online, I found the actual like company that Disney orders some of their scents from, and like you can only buy them in large batches, but now I can't find the website anymore, and I feel like I'm like imagining that.
Why didn't you tell us about this? We could all go on a large batch of something.
It's like a $400 purchase, I think. It was really, really expensive, and it's like a very large amount of just fragrance, like oil.
I think it's called EnviroScent.
It might be.
I'm pretty sure it's like the official, like what they use.
Yes, this is it. Okay, thank you for recognizing that, because I just went on their website and that reminds me of it.
All right, I have a present for everyone.
Oh no.
I was saving this till the end. This is a spreadsheet.
Oh boy.
That I've been working on for a little while. And it has
Beth, you pulled through with your spreadsheets again.
Oh my
You know me, I'm the spreadsheet queen.
Ridiculous.
So if you have any for me to add, let me know, and we can share this on the website as well.
Sweet.
So
you have the Polynesian lobby in here 4 times.
Well, no, granted, not all, I gotta say that not all of these have come directly from my knowledge base. I've also scoured the internet quite a bit, obviously, because some of these smells I've never even smelled or noticed before. But I thought that this was worth sharing with the class.
Awesome.
Yeah, and like I said, I can't confirm all of these. So if you see if you smell one and you're like, this smells nothing like it, let me know and I can take it off.
This the Grand Floridian lobby, the EnviroScent aloe and green clover. Just take off the clover, and that's what they're
aloe and green. It just smells like aloe and green.
Well, green, you know, people call money green, like it.
I got it. That's funny.
Wow. Yeah, that was I'm gonna sit here and like read this spreadsheet for the next couple hours. Did you guys have any honorable mentions you wanted to talk about?
I never did my number 1.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Brian.
I didn't realize I had one. It's caramel kuka at the Germany Pavilion.
That was an honorable mention for me. I was kind of waiting for someone to take that. That's such a good one.
It smells.
That's a good one.
I mean, I love the way the caramel smells, and it's kind of on the same vein as the confectionery, but I think since it's like in a smaller store, it's like that much more intense.
Yeah, that's one of those smells that you do gain calories on.
I don't mind when like some of the smells are super intense if they fit in with where I'm at. And that's one that like I walk into that store and I can smell it. I know, like, obviously I walked into a store that has the word caramel in it. Like, I know that that's what it's going to smell like, but between that and like the fresh baked goods and all of that stuff, it smells so good. I think that fits perfectly with where it's at. And that's my last honorable mention too. So you got me beat on that one.
This EnviroScent, it says you can buy like home sticks, right?
Oh, I must have just found the like ones that are specifically for business then, because if they have home sticks, I have never ordered one.
I feel like it used to be that you could only order in bulk, but that maybe it's changed recently. But they used to actually sell like the machines that like Disney. It's probably not the exact one, but it's like a similar, like it pumps the smell into the air.
Yeah, that's kind of how I remember it. It was like a big fan type thing that just like blew the actual scent around.
But now I don't even see that as an option.
Huh.
They have like when Disney has a monopoly on them, like you can only sell those to us.
I don't even,
Maybe.
I don't see like the aloe and green clover smell on here.
Oh no,
Googling.
your spreadsheet's outdated.
Oh man.
We expect better from you.
Oh, maybe there's like a corporate website or something. Because I do remember it used to be like a website you could, I don't know, scour for stuff.
There's I'm looking through a bunch of old threads on the Disboard and WDW Magic, and apparently this is a very talked about topic of like where you can buy Disney scents at like home.
People associate smells, like smells have such a big effect. Actually, whenever I my last job, I did like a year-long research project on LaCroix. And one of the reasons that LaCroix does so much better than the other sparkling water companies, I mean, now they're not doing as well, but is because LaCroix smells really good. And so it actually changes, how you taste it whenever you drink it, as opposed to some of like the more natural brands. They don't smell good at all. They actually kind of smell bad. So people automatically think they just don't taste as good.
Huh.
That's interesting.
I mean, you can always, like, if you're ever just walking somewhere and you just are like, oh my God, it smells just like X. I mean, scents are a huge memory.
I like the things that have come out in the past few years of like what LaCroix tastes like, though, where it's like a single red Skittle dissolved in water.
Yes, I love those because I actually hate LaCroix. I think like the looking up the Twitter hashtag LaCroix tastes like is just hours of entertainment.
It's like transported on a truck with limes.
I haven't seen that, but now I have to go look that up on Twitter. Oh, all right. Well, was there anything you guys wanted to talk about before we wrap this show up this week? I think we've kind of exhausted the topic of Disney smells.
Disney smells good.
That's one way to end it.
If anybody listening has a smell that we missed, let us know.
Also, let us know if you have a smell that you want to add to Beth's spreadsheet.
Yes, if you have any products that smell like Disney smells, let me know. And
I sent you my...
submit the, like, I know there are a bunch of, like, candle companies out there now that are, like, specific to Disney scents. Only send them if they actually smell like the thing, because I've had my heart broken too many times.
Yeah. I sent you my one contribution.
Okay.
I'm going to see if I can find a link to order it online.
Oh, one last thing about Target's candle game. I was saving this because it was my number one pick is the confectionery. I have a Target candle that smells the closest I've ever smelled something outside the confectionery smelling. It is coconut agave scent. Again, with the weird names that don't match. But it smells so good, and I refuse to burn it because I don't want it to stop existing.
I was going to buy some of this Layla hand lotion, but it's $80.
Oh.
Oh.
This is terrible.
Then that's going to do it for us this week. Thanks for joining us again on another episode of the Station 71 podcast. If you like what you heard, be sure to subscribe to us on iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts from. For full show notes and other Disney content, you can find us on our website at station71podcast.com. Twitter at Station71Pod, Facebook.com/Station71Pod, and Instagram at Station71Podcast. Be sure to join our Discord channel for some more in-depth Disney discussion at bit.ly/S71Chat. We hope you enjoyed your ride, and we'll see you real soon.
Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.